Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, introducing you to my Ninja Gaiden Sigma Beginner's Guide to Master Ninja Mode. This is the second part to Chapter 15, and we're going further into the Caverns. So this next part of the game is bullshitty, and I don't like it. And the reason for this is, there's a lot of environmental hazards knocking around. There is a lot of awkward jumping sections and stupid, like, fucking pipe climbing moments. And it's just not a very enjoyable level. There's some good boss fights, but that aside, it's all pretty awkward and pretty abysmal, so I'm going to talk about some other stuff while you watch me go through this frustration fest. So previously on the underwater universe, I was talking about killer whales, which were the 5th predator of the sea that were on this list of, you know, the most human kill count type things. And number 4 is something called a Humboldt squid. And if I'm honest, I had never heard of this animal. I'd never really heard too much about squids, aside from, you know, like giant fucking squids, krakens, and all that kind of nonsense, which they obviously did exist, but they died out for whatever reasons because they couldn't hack it, and that's only my real experience when it comes to squids. But these motherfuckers, these are a terrifying component in the sea. And the reason that this animal is becoming more prevalent is because the ecosystem and the environment underwater is changing. And the reason it's changing is because of us. So, all those stupid Japanese bastards that are out there in those whaling boats and those shark boats and all that good stuff, they're fishing the sharks away. And not just the Japanese people, I know they've got a fucking taste for it, but anybody that's on those boats that capture sharks, cut the fins off and then throw them back into the sea, which is pretty much the most inhumane thing you can do to an animal. And don't get me wrong, I would not want to swim with a fucking shark in an environment that was not controlled, but at the same time, I don't wish death on them, because they're a majestic animal that I don't really understand. But because these animals are being poached so much for food and for culinary delights, they're not doing their job in the ecosystem. Because if you've ever seen an animal and you've been like, what is the point in that animal? Well, generally, the point of it is to kill something else, and to keep the livestock, or the lower animal in the food chain, to a certain manageable amount. And there's somebody above him who does the same to him. And that's how it all works. It's this giant tower of dominoes where the dude who's lower gets eaten by the dude who's higher, but there's always a guy higher than the one below. And it's just how it works. It's a balancing act. And by these people fishing these sharks out of the waters almost to extinction, they're not eating these squids. And these Humboldt squids are now getting to ridiculous large amounts of numbers, and they're also migrating to different parts of the sea that we've never seen them before. And you might think, it's just a fucking squid, dude, why are you making such a big fuss? Well, this squid is ridiculous. Not only is this squid, like, it's like 2 meters long, so this motherfucker's is easily bigger than most people, unless you're gifted a basketball. This is a serious squid. There's lots of them, they move generally in packs, and also they are completely unaffected by pressure. This is an animal that can swim thousands of feet below sea level and then rise to the surface with absolutely no detriment whatsoever. And we should be experimenting on how this motherfucker can do this, because we surely can't. We get nitrogen poisoning because, you know, we get the bends and shit. We have to take pills for that type of stuff. And this thing does it fine, and it can swim in any temperature of water, so feasibly this dude, if there's enough of them, can go anywhere in the sea. And to make matters worse, it will eat anything. It doesn't care. It's like a fat dude in McDonald's. He's just fucking clearing plates. And they'll eat whatever they can get their hands on, and they will hunt everything. They're herbivore, omnivore, fucking carnivore. They're like they're vor. They're just plain vor. That's all they are. And they attack humans as well. And this guy on the program is a specialist, and he's been attacked like 3 times with these squids. And if you ask me, he's a fucking idiot. But I'm glad he exists, because I'd rather him do it than me. And the first time he got attacked, what they do is they're kind of like the velociraptors off Jurassic Park, where one of the squids will do a light show with its body. It'll change the temperature of its skin, and what it does is it gives it this impression of its like tessellating colours and undulating, and giving it this lovely rainbow effect as it shimmers and it glows and it swells and it changes its luminosity. And it looks like a fantastic light show, but the reason it's doing it is so that its buddy can flank around you and hit you from behind while you're distracted. And they did it to this guy, and these squids, every tentacle that they have has got those suckers on them, and every one of those suckers has barbs. And these barbs, when they grip you, are pretty much they're like jaws, and they have a lot of crushing power because they're a strong animal, so they can easily break your bones. And oh, just fucking terrifying. They attacked this guy, and he managed to get it off him, and I can't remember how he managed to do that, but it left, suffice to say. And when he goes into the water now, he wears like chainmail, he wears all this titanium fucking steel alloy stuff, and he can still get injured because they're that strong. But it's such a terrifying concept that this animal is getting more prevalent in the seas because of the way we're fishing them. And I don't want to see this squid anywhere near where I live anyway. Fuck that bastard. Hopefully something else will evolve and start eating them, because they could be real bad news for the sea. So now that we've gone through the cavern anyhow, and we've picked up all that shit, we've got to go backwards and put that cog into the area that we were previously exploring in the last video. Once we've done that, it's going to enable us to go through some ice and then fight the first boss of the level, which is, I can't remember the bugger's name, but it's really crap. It's like a blind sloth with no legs. It's it's such a strange animal, and if you do it correctly, it's not that challenging a fight, but I do believe it's backed up by cats. So if you don't like cats, you're in for a surprise. And I'm just examining the things that Muramasa's been giving me, because these are items I've never seen before. This is my first time through Master Ninja, so I didn't even know this shit existed, and I'm picking it up and being like, that could come in handy, that's probably nothing, and so on and so forth. But make sure you use the save points, because the fight coming up can go bad really quickly. So thanks for watching, and you take care now.